Chris Abel is here. Real Chris Abel. Time to connect and talk tech. Cars on the list today. Chris, how are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. I'm here. Bit of a cough there. Are you doing okay?
Yeah, same thing for me. Coughing and struggling like everyone else has got the cold right now.
It's the
Back to
season.
school hits, right? And then fall hits and
Yeah,
everyone gets a cold. It's kind of the way it goes. If you got a little fancy tech gadget for that, that would be awesome.
I wish.
Be nice. You can make a lot
Yeah.
of money. Ferrari has been one of the most notable of all of the car companies of all time. And
Yes.
Ferrari does use electric power in the F1 cars and some of the racing cars because they're hybrid systems. We are yet to see a full on commitment. Porsche has done it, other car companies have done it. There are electric supercars. Ferrari's got some exciting new news, though, that you get to share with us.
Yes, they finally have decided they're going to go all the way. And next year, 2026, they're going to unveil their very first electric vehicle. It's called the Electrica. And this is going to be coming from Ferrari. They gave us a technical tease, basically the insides of how it works. And so, unlike usual Ferrari cars, this is going to be a four-seater. It's going to be four seats, four doors, but there's also going to be four motors. So the fun, cool part is that when you're driving fast and you take those wide turns, you're going to be able to steer the rear wheels through the turns as well, which sounds really cool. How this machine is going to look, they're still keeping a secret because this time Ferrari isn't going to use their own designers. Instead, they've tapped Johnny Ive, the famous designer behind the iPod, the iPhone, and most of Apple's signature devices. They've decided to work with him to come up with an all new fancy look. And so we have to wait till next year to see what that's going to be like. But I mean, it's just amazing. Johnny Ive isn't exactly an Italian name. So this is going to be a very interesting twist and turn for the culture of that car company.
It will be interesting to see and how sleek it will be. Not the first time they've done a four-door car. They've done a few of those before, and they do have a four-door SUV. Now, it'll be interesting to see if this graduates into more than just what it is. Now, the Porsche does have a wicked fast four-door car. And so maybe there's some luxury family driving, I guess, that you could do with a wild kick.
Yeah. Well, I think this is definitely going to be something fresh. It's going to be new. I'm looking for it. I mean, just the idea. I'm always excited for anything that Johnny Ive is doing. So Johnny Ive and Ferrari getting together, that blows my mind. Yeah, I can't wait till next spring to find out what exactly those two have been planning.
Hmm.
It's neat in that it's not usually a connection we make between Ferrari and the world of Apple. But when you take your phone and you turn it sideways and the screen shifts between portrait to landscape mode, the technology that does that was invented by Ferrari. They originally came that up for their airbag system so that the airbag can orient properly when it's deployed. And then it was adopted by Apple for the design on their phones. So there is a connection between the two companies a long time ago. But this is the first time that we're going to see those two worlds really come together in a very intimate fashion.
Oh, wow. That's incredible. Okay. Fantastic stuff. Real Chris Abel. Grab him on the socials. This is interesting, Chris, because I was thinking about how the Canada Post strike, until it just changed this weekend, really pushes more people to just use Amazon and not use Canadian retailers and not because you can't ship just as easily. And so Canadian online retailers really pay the price for that whole dispute. Amazon is such a monster of a business, and they're
Yeah.
just getting their tentacles into more. But if you need help at the pharmacy and convenience and ease, this could be a good thing for you.
We'll see. I mean, it's interesting because it seems like something that would have so many challenges. But this December, Amazon in the United States, in California, is going to start installing the first wave of pharmacy vending machines. I'm not kidding. You're going to be able to go up, hit a few buttons and walk away with a little baggie of prescription pills. The concept is that you'll go to your doctor, and when you're done and you leave with your pharmacy, your prescription, you can take it to the nearest kiosk machine, which is probably going to be in the lobby of the building, present it to the machine, which will scan a barcode that's on there, and then it'll transfer or process the transaction, and it'll spit out a little tiny baggie with your prescription drugs. Now, initially it's just going to be the most common types of prescription drugs, antibiotics, blood pressure medication, that sort of thing. You're not, they're going to see how this goes before they start moving into more advanced forms of medication. But right now, the idea is to make this more convenient, but also they say that statistically, a lot of prescriptions never get filled. That people, by the time they leave the office, there are other things that sort of consume their time. A week goes by and, oh, gee, I forgot to get those drugs. Well, this way, more people are actually going to get the drugs that they need.
Okay, I've seen guys restock Coke machines and stuff.
Uh-huh.
It's not a graceful process.
No.
Would you rather have a pharmacist stocking your container of pills, or just maybe that's protected somehow? I don't. I feel like that's a vulnerability, Chris.
Yeah. Well, okay. So again, I mean, obviously, it would have to have a completely different kind of register of people who are stocking these machines. I agree with that. But they also do still maintain a connection with the pharmacy, at least sort of staff. And that when you get there, you will give instructions as to how you can use the machine to either place a video or a phone call to pharmacy staff who can then take you through the drug medication that you just got. So you're not missing out, at least, on getting the consultation that you would normally get over the counter at a physical pharmacy.
Now, if you've ever ordered a Coke on a machine and got a Sprite instead, you can see how on a pharmacy machine that could go really wrong. To be determined where that goes. Okay, Chris Abel here, and we're talking tech. Punch cards, the original computers. Chris, what do you got?
All right, so I have a soft spot for elderly engineers. We're talking about one of the pioneers in computers, Peter Sampson, who back in the 1960s was one of the first men to get a large computer to actually act as a video game. Space War he was involved in creating, as well as to get these machines which had no sound cards to actually play music. So he worked on a very massive machine called the PDP, which in 1959 was the size of a room, and you fed it punch cards, and you had reel-to-reel tape going back and forth. And he managed to convince this machine to regulate and moderate the electricity signals it was sending to the light bulbs in the panels. They didn't have LEDs back then. They had physical light bulbs that would indicate, this working or that working. By changing the electricity going to the light bulbs, he could get the light bulbs to produce sound. And, he's much celebrated for doing this as a way to create music. Now at age 83, working at the Computer History Museum in Silicon Valley in California, he is thrilling a whole new younger generation by recreating the song Olsen from the Boards of Canada. And everybody's kind of wowing over the fact that how you can take sound from light bulbs and sounds almost perfectly like the synthesized music of the Boards of Canada. I believe we have a sample. Let's have a listen.
Interesting to think that some of these technologies and inspirations that come with it have been around for that long, Chris. Like, to think that fundamentally not much has changed from these original pioneers of this stuff.
Correct. Yeah.
Ones and zeros, man. That's all of us.
Ones and zeros, and much the same sort of interest. Here at 83, you've got a man in a dress shirt, and he's still working a way to kind of preserve and maintain the craft and the hobbyist of this technology. He reminds me so much of the elderly men in my youth who would, maintain and conserve the culture of railroads here in Canada.
Yeah.
I love meeting those guys. I didn't have any grandfathers as a little boy. I would meet up the engineers through my father and his work, and it was just amazing.
I love it. That's great stuff. Real Chris Abel, Krisabel, on all the socials and the web. You can go find them out and get these stories online too. Thanks, Chris.
All right, take care, guys.